In this video, we're going over how to calculate the outstanding balance, which can be referred to as OB, which is the outstanding balance, which can be calculated as A, accumulated amount, minus the future value at a specific time. So this outstanding balance really is used to calculate or to determine the value of the loan payment at a specific time frame. So let's go through this next example that will give us a comprehensive idea of how to solve outstanding balance questions. So John bought a car for 180,000 and John paid 10% in cash, and the balance is to be paid using a bank loan over 6 years. Interest rate is 5%, so interest is 10.5%, compounded monthly per annum, compounded monthly. We know that, as they mentioned, that it's to be paid over 6 years, which is 6. But it means we need to calculate what the 10% is, because it's going to finance the balance through the bank, a bank loan. So let's determine what 10% is here by multiplying this by 10%, and that'll give us 18,000. To get the balance, we're going to say 180,000 minus 18,000, which will give us the figure that you'll finance through the bank. This will give us 162,000, meaning that that's what he needs a loan amount based on. So the first question says calculate the monthly repayments. Since this is a loan, we're going to use present value. Present value is given as x1 minus 1 plus the interest to the power of negative n, square bracket, all divided by I. Remember, we're looking for monthly repayments, which is x. That's what we'll be looking for. The present value we have given as 162,000. The interest we also have is 10%, and the n we also have, which is 6 years. And always remember that for interest, we're going to divide it by 100, and n, which is years, needs to convert it into months. So let's write down everything we have. We have 62,000 equals to the x that we're looking for, square brackets 1 minus 1 plus interest is 10.5% divided by 100, which will be 0.105 divided by 100. Remember, they said it's compounded monthly, which means we divide it by 12. The power of minus, how many years is that? 6 years. But it's 6 times what? Times 12, because of the compounding period. And square brackets, everything divided by the interest, 0.105 divided by 12. Remember, we're solving for x, so we have to isolate everything that's standing in the way of us making x subject of the formula. I'll erase this, I'll bring it back later, or you can just pause the video and write it down. So we need to solve for x. How are you going to solve for x? We're going to cross multiply. This is divided by 1, so we can just cross multiply that and cross multiply that with 1, which will give us x square bracket 1 minus 1 plus 0.01105. No, it's 0.105, all divided by 12. The power of minus 6 times 12. Square brackets equals to 162,000 times 0.105 divided by 12. Remember, our main idea is to isolate everything so as to be left with x on the left hand side. So to do that, we can divide both sides by that and divide by the same, which we can say it's 1 minus 1 plus 0.105 divided by 12, power of minus 6 times 12. So we're dividing the left hand side and we're also dividing the right hand side. This may seem tedious, but it's very important so as to not make small mistakes, silly mistakes that will compromise our marks. So on the left hand side, we'll be left with x, and we can just quickly punch in all of that into the calculator and see what our x value becomes. And from my calculator, I'm getting that it's 3,042.19, which means 3,042.19 is the monthly repayments. So would have answered first part of the question. So let me just write this answer over here because we're going to use this answer in the next question. So in the next question, which is number 2, we're asked to calculate the outstanding balance, it's the OB, at the end of 2 years immediately after the 24th payment, right? 2 years, 24th payment. Seems like it's a contradicting statement, but 2 years and over 2 years, there's how many months? There's 24 months because it's 2 by 12, which would be 24 months, or you can just really take it at face value and just say it's 24 months based on the 24th payment. So you have to calculate the outstanding balance. What is the outstanding balance? OB. Outstanding balance is the accumulated amount. What's the accumulated amount? The accumulated value of the loan. So loan minus the future value. Future value of the monthly repayments. What are the monthly repayments? Remember, we calculated monthly repayments. So let's write this as a complete formula. You should have principal loan amount 1 plus the interest, the power of n minus the future value formula. Monthly repayment, square brackets, 1 plus the interest to the power of n, how many months, minus 1, square bracket, all divided by interest. So what's the principal amount? Let's break it down. Remember, we calculated that Jean is going to pay 10%. And the 10% amount was the 10%, the 90% actually of that amount, 180,000, which we calculate should be 162,123. That will be our principal amount. So this will be our P. And the interest, what's the interest? We're still using the same interest of 10.5 annum compounded monthly, which we calculated to be 0,105. And it's compounded monthly is divided by 12. So we went on to say, remember, they asked us for 24th payment, or at the end of 2 years, which means our N will be 24 months. Since our N is in months, we don't need to convert it again or multiply it by the compounding period. If N is in months, we leave it as it, substitute it as is, and then it becomes a matter of plugging and playing. Which means this will be equals to, our P is 162,000 minus our monthly installments, 3,042.19, brackets 1 plus our interest, 0,105, all divided by 12, all to the power of, let me try and shift this so that I have more space. So let's create it somewhere there, so as to not make our work look very unattractive. So it's 162,000, 1 plus the interest, which is 0,105, all divided by 12. And N, remember, is 24. 24 minus monthly installments, 3,042.19, square brackets, 1 plus 0,105, which is our interest, all divided by 12, to the power of 24. Remember, 24th payment, all divided by interest, 0,105, everything divided by 12. What are we solving for here? Outstanding balance. Remember, outstanding balance after the second year, 2 years, or after the 24th payment. If you substitute this into the calculator, I'm getting 199,600 73,3756. Going to substitute of that into a calculator. I'm getting 80,853, 30977. So the outstanding balance, when you subtract the two values on my end on my calculator, I'm getting 118,820, 006. 118,820, 0.06 will be the outstanding balance on principal amount of 162,000 after 2 years. Then we would have really mastered the outstanding balance formula or questions. So be sure to remember how to do this. Pause the video, rewind the video, and really go back into answering this question.